Hey guys, Peter Valley here. Welcome to this tour of Informed Repricer. This is an automated repricing tool for Amazon sellers called Informed. And what we're going to do is go through the process of signing up, going through all the settings. I'm going to go really slow and detailed and get us all the way to the point where Informed can reprice our inventory. This will allow you to get an entire tour, a tour you would otherwise have to sign up to get access to. So I'm going to let you kind of look over my shoulder as I navigate this entire process. Hopefully it'll be very easy, but my experience with some of these other videos I'm doing, other tours of Amazon repricers, generally they're painstakingly convoluted, really frustrating. Hopefully Informed is different. And so my purpose of this video is to kind of, again, just show you how what the whole process looks like, show you all the features, etc. And then also answer a couple basic questions. One, what features are missing from Informed? What features are present in Informed? What features are missing from Informed? What features does Informed have? How does it compare to other repricers? How does it stand out? Are there any like key differentiators between Informed and other repricers? There's over 30 other automated repricing tools for Amazon sellers on the market. Informed, they actually did a little research into like how often people are searching for Informed, and it appears that Informed is in the top 10. So this is one of the more popular ones. So I'm going to kind of find out why and give you enough information to make your own decision as to whether you think Informed is a repricer that you would like to sign up for. So let's take a look. Okay, so the first thing I'm looking for, and by the way, I just signed up off camera. First thing I'm looking for with a repricer is there a clear onboarding process? In other words, when you sign up, do they just abandon you and expect you to flail around and figure it out for yourself? Or do they give you the clear, linear, step-by-step process? So far, I like what I'm seeing here. A lot of repricers I've signed up for and tested out, they just dump you onto some random page and then just basically tell you to fend for yourself. So right off the top, it is actually kind of giving us a little bit of like what the next step is. So I kind of like that. So it says pricing disabled. So you can check all your settings, get started when you're ready, review strategies, update costs, verify minimum price, enable pricing. Okay, let's check out what the next page has in store for us. Okay, it says welcome to Inform. There's a few simple steps to get your account up and running. Return here at any time. Okay, it doesn't really tell us what those next steps are. It looks like over here, add marketplace. We did that. And then it says choose your strategy. So it's not clear where I'm supposed to do that, but I guess that will be obvious here in a second. Maybe we'll click on strategies. That might be the best place to start. Set rules for how you would like your listings to be repriced. Okay, so my expectations are so low with repricers. I've done several other videos like this with other repricing tools. And the fact that this is just plain English, like, hey, here is where you set the rules for how your listings are repriced, sounds so basic. Almost no repricer can even clear this hurdle where they even make it clear where you're supposed to go to set the settings or what the pages do. I just got done doing a video of a really terrible tool called Channel Max that was so confusing and so full of broken English, I couldn't make any sense of it. But this is good. Okay, so unlock this page by adding a marketplace. Okay, so now I have to go back here. Okay, so I linked my marketplace. We're back here on the strategies page. So we're gonna basically set up how it's going to reprice our inventory. So strategy name, we'll leave that. Okay, so strategy type. Strategies are unique repricing rules that determine exactly how your listings will compete against other sellers on the marketplace. Please select the strategy you would like to create. Okay, so we have some options here. So the way most reprices work, they give you a bunch of pre-formatted options, and then they give you the option to sort of set a custom strategy. So usually, in fact, always, I opt for the custom strategy. I never submit my inventory to some pre-formatted set of rules. And I wouldn't recommend anyone else do that either. Repricing is the most sensitive part of your Amazon business. So it would be quite foolish, in my opinion, to just turn over your inventory to some set of rules. It's no substitute for learning this stuff yourself. But anyway, get the buy box. So apparently it's a strategy built around winning the buy box. Optimal price, described as best suited for listings with minimal competitions or listings with stable sales that don't need frequent price changes. I like that. Generally, reprices are optimized for getting you the most number of sales. Just sale. Just drop price. They're way too aggressive. So the fact that there is a setting here, a pre-formatted pricing strategy for not repricing that often and just kind of leaving things alone and maybe massaging them into a sale on an as-needed basis, I like that. I'm assuming that's what I'm gathering from this. Private label, best suited for private label items. Interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. Compete with featured merchants. Best suited for merch fulfilled listings that need featured merchant status. Okay. Compete with the lowest price. It's probably what most people do, although I don't recommend it. And then build your own, the custom option that I referenced. Okay, so I'm kind of curious what this compete with lowest price looks like. I want to just kind of see if they offer any transparency or it just is basically just like, hey, trust us. So, okay, so this is the default settings here where Looks like it's a pretty aggressive strategy. Compete with lowest price settings, price below by a penny. So if you get inventory repriced, or you list something for sale, you get underpriced by another seller within seconds by a penny. It's always going to be an automated repricing tool usually. Would you like to compete differently against FBA and seller fulfilled prime? No. That's how I would set that. I'm just checking this out to kind of see how aggressive this is. We'll go back to the custom one in a second and build one from the ground up. How do you want to treat seller fulfilled prime? Okay, so again, as I said, I always opt for the custom strategy in building my own. So let's go with that option and see what the features are and everything else. Okay, so I know this seems really quick for me to like pass judgment, but I gotta tell you, I like what I'm seeing. I've been inside at this point. I'll probably do a bunch more, but at this point, I think I've been inside 7 other Amazon repricing tools, done thorough audit of all of their features, maybe 8 others. And this is the one that is the most clear. And that's really all I'm looking for. Are you making the steps very, very simple? Are you explaining what each setting is, etc.? And again, pretty early on in this tour, but I like what I'm seeing so far. Like it just says very bluntly, select the type of offer you want to compete with. I like that. Okay, so we're going to compete with other FBA offers. Let's just set an FBA only pricing strategy. Price below, let's just do match price. Would you compete differently against FBA and seller fulfilled prime? So no. Would you like to compete differently against Amazon? Yes. I want to underprice Amazon, price below by, there's a percentage based option. That's cool. So we'll just say 10%. I'm just going really fast here. How do you want to treat seller fulfilled prime? Same as FBA. That's how I would do it. When there is no competition, use machine learning. Okay, so have you heard my rant about machine learning, about AI, about game theory, about algorithms? These are all of the kind of buzzwords that may actually have an actual definition. I'm not just saying they're hollow marketing, but all the buzzwords these repricers use to kind of bait you in to sign up for their tool. They all have them. Again, game theory, they all have one. So Informed apparently calls their proprietary formula machine learning. Okay, fine. Never, ever, in my opinion, I feel strongly about this, ever turn over your inventory to anything that is not 100% transparent about what it's doing. Ever. In other words, if you've got a repricer and it says, hey, click here and we will apply our algorithmic artificial intelligence pricing strategy to optimize your prices. Sounds great. Guess what? If you don't tell me exactly what that strategy is, exactly what the logic is that's being applied to my inventory, I will never, ever trust you. Ever. And I would suggest that you don't trust them either. Getting inventory is really, really hard. I fight a lot for my inventory. I, bleed, sweat, and everything else for my inventory. There's no chance I'm going to turn it over blindly to some formula that invented by some company who I don't know. I don't know the people that made this formula. I don't know the people that wrote the artificial intelligence or the machine learning in this case. I don't know you. I don't know if you have my best interests in mind. You've not earned my trust, basically. So 0% chance that I'm going to turn my inventory over to you. Now, if somewhere in inform.co, in this case, there is an explanation for exactly what this machine learning is and exactly what it does and exactly what the logic is it will apply to my inventory, that is awesome. I have yet to see that in any repricer. It is 100% cloaked in secrecy every time. Informed may be different. We will find out by the end of this tour, but that is my opinion about that and why I will never, ever select anything that says machine learning, AI, or anything else. Okay, so when there's no competition, use the max price. That makes a lot of sense. And I assume we'll set the max price here in a second. When the competition is below your minimum price, use the minimum price. Yes, we're going to set the floor. And that's what I want it to do. When the competition matches your minimum price, do not reprice or ignore competition. I'm not clear what the difference between those is, but let's just do not reprice. When your own price matches your minimum price, then use the minimum price. I think that makes sense. When the buy box is suppressed, that's disabled. Price out of stock listings to max price. Yes, we're going to enable that. So I understand the value of this setting. It's basically just saying, hey, if you sell out of an item, just go ahead and reprice the item to the maximum price so that when you relist it, it's not at an artificially low. It's not at a price that's too low, so it'll sell too fast. So it'll sort of buy us time to edit the price downwards. Okay, so smart price reset. I'm sensing more AI, more machine learning. What is smart price? In order to help drive prices up, SKUs with competition will go to max price and stay there during the period with fewest historical sales. Interesting. I want to learn more. Let's learn more. The setting will reprice your item to its max price. Amazon can deactivate listings which are priced too high. Please ensure your max price are within an acceptable range per Amazon guidelines. So I think what it's saying here is that when you've got an item that has tons and tons of competitors and there's a period of low sales, it will automatically reprice your inventory to the max price. You're basically bowing out. You're basically saying, in effect, we're taking this off the market temporarily, making it uncompetitive until sales pick up again. If this works, this is very interesting. So I'm going to enable this, but I usually don't rely on blind faith here, but I kind of like the way it sounds. I don't see any downside to it, so we're going to enable it. Don't lower my price when in the buy box. In other words, when you own the buy box, don't move. Don't do anything drastic. Don't rock the boat. I'm going to enable that. I like the way that sounds. I'm not a buy box repricer myself, but I understand the value in it. Everything's pretty simple and straightforward so far. Seller rating, choose the minimum seller rating that you would like to. Okay, so it's basically saying, hey, if someone has a feedback score of less than 90% positive feedback, don't consider them competitive. I'm going to choose to leave that. Include sellers. I think you can exclude sellers based on their storefront name, I'm guessing. New include, okay, so you can create a list. Okay, so we're going to skip that. Okay, compete against featured sellers only. Same or better item condition. Exclude competition with handling time. So allows you to narrow down your who you compete against by their handling time. So more than 2 days. Okay, so basically sellers that don't ship immediately. Exclude them. We're going to skip that. Exclude backorder competition. Exclude Amazon as a seller. Enabling this setting excludes Amazon as competition when they are present on an offer. Yeah, definitely not going to do that. Amazon isn't just competitive. They are your biggest and most dangerous competitor. Okay, so setting your minimum maximum price. So it looks like you can set it based on return on investment, profit margin, fixed profit, formula-based min maximum, automatically calculate min maximum price using a custom formula you create. Okay, that's interesting. Or you enter your own min max. So the way I look at min max pricing is basically this. You should be able to set, you basically have two safeguards in place when it comes to minimum maximum. In other words, the minimum is actually the most important. In other words, the floor, the price you can never, ever go below. So there's two ways to do this, I think, to make it really simple, and I don't think we have to make it more complicated than this. Number one, you set an absolute minimum, absolute floor price. In other words, never price anything below $10, okay? That's number one. Number two, any repricer should be able to honor the minimum and maximum values that you set, minimum and maximum price values when you create a listing on Amazon. So if you're using listing software or you're listed on Amazon directly, there will be an option to set a minimum and maximum price. So what I've yet to see is a repricer that actually allows you to honor the minimum and maximum price that's already inside Amazon. It kind of forces you to do the whole thing over again. That would provide two safeguards. So you got the absolute floor, and then you've got also on top of that, stay within the min-max on a per SKU basis. Pretty straightforward. No repricer can accomplish this except for NeuroPrice. But let's see what our best option is here. Let's go ahead. I'm not taking this too seriously now because I'm not actually going to reprice my inventory. But let's just go enter your own min-max because that's the simplest way to do it. Then we got option for smart max prices. This appears to be another kind of AI-driven thing. Informed will use AI to automatically set and update your min-max price or your max price with the goal of increasing your profits and preventing delisting. So I guess this is just a AI-driven preventative against inventory getting delisted due to what are called Amazon's high pricing errors. I see the value in this, but at the same time, I don't want to trust some algorithm to set a cap on what I can price my inventory at. What if it's wrong? Then I'm leaving money on the table. I'm selling items for less than what I could. So definitely leaving that disabled. And I actually kind of like, at the very least, and this is the most I've ever seen from any repricer, they at least attempt to explain how their algorithm works. So let's read this. Using the power of AI, we built up an algorithm that will automatically determine the ideal max price for your Amazon listings. Their algorithm works to calculate the maximum price that is high enough to increase your profits while still being low enough to prevent delisting by Amazon. That which is referencing high pricing errors. Not good enough for me. Again, it's not just enough to say, hey, we have an algorithm. Like, I need to know exactly how the algorithm works. And if it's really complex, assume that I'm smart enough to understand and at least explain it to me. Don't like this at all. Definitely not using that. And I assume somewhere it says manually assign minimum maximum prices for each listing via the min-max fields on the listing page. Okay, so I really don't like this. And what I don't like about this is it's forcing us to do work we've already done. When we list an inventory, I just referenced this a second ago. When we list an inventory for sale on Amazon, we set the min-max price. Why do I have to go and do it again? That's weird. I definitely don't like that. Maybe this option will give us maybe the formula-based option will give us the opportunity to sort of not have to go and set every min-max SKU by SKU, which would be insane. If you have 5,000 items in your inventory, according to this, you have to go through and set 5,000 different min-max prices. Maybe I'm wrong. That's how I'm interpreting this. This formula-based, I'm skeptical of it. For the sake of simplicity, let's just go back to enter our own. But I don't really like anything I'm seeing here. Fixed profit. I mean, these seem more interesting. Return on investment based, min-max prices, profit margin based. I like that, but that can get really, really complicated for us. So let's just go ahead and keep it simple and continue to the next page. So here's where it just recaps everything we just set. So you guys know what's insane about this? Can you guys, I mean, there's actually a few things. Do you know what's actually insane about this? We went through the entire process and nowhere did it ask how we want to set a rule based on rank. Nowhere, there was never a single setting for, hey, this particular strategy you're applying, only apply it to these sales rank ranges. 1 to 100,000 or 100,000 to a million or whatever. We were never asked there was no mention of sales rank. Sales rank is fundamental to any pricing strategy. You cannot reprice inventory without knowing its sales rank, period. Ever, ever, ever. You're going to reprice an item that has a rank of 50,000, completely different than an item that has a rank of 1 million. And Informed did not give us that option, which is like, wow. I don't even know how an omission that big is even possible. Maybe there's something somewhere else where we are allowed to use sales rank as a criteria. But I mean, we just went through the whole process, so I think that's it. Okay, so now it looks like the next step is to add pricing rules. And I'm not clear why that's different. How is a strategy different than a rule? That's not explained. And where are we supposed to go to set these rules? That's not explained either. So we're just kind of left to flail for ourselves. Okay, so it says add pricing rules. Your pricing rules determine the boundaries for the prices sent to the marketplace. In order to determine these boundaries, we require that you add your cost, so set the minimum maximum price. Okay, so edit manually. Okay, got it. Manually add your cost prices. Skip this step. Add your costs later. No, we want to do it now, but I don't want to enter my costs. I want to enter the min-max prices. I see the value in cost, but we're not even choosing to do any ROI-based or profit margin-based rules right now. So this should be optional. It looks like it says you can do it later, but I guess we'll just do it right now. So go to the listings page. Okay, so I'm still waiting for my inventory to sync up with Informed. So I was just kind of poking around off camera, waiting for the things to load. And I was just checking out the different pricing strategies and kind of how they work exactly. I was trying to figure out how many pricing strategies can you have at once, etc. And it looks like you can assign strategies based on condition. So you can say, I want one strategy for acceptable, one for good, one for very good, etc. It's kind of a weird pivot for a strategy to base it entirely on condition. I'm not really clear why. It's not even in the top 3 most significant attributes I'm looking for when I'm setting a pricing strategy at all. Maybe to a certain extent, you want to maybe not compete with acceptable in certain conditions, but why this would be the key defining variable of a pricing strategy is very, very odd to me. I don't know. It kind of furthers my theory that none of these repricing tools are run by actual sellers. And it may seem like a small thing, but it's really not. I mean, why would this be the defining attribute? Very strange. So I'm just going to go ahead and select applies to everything. And then you can also see you can apply based on fulfillment channel. So you can say merch fulfilled or FBA. You can, all my inventory is FBA, but I'm assuming there would be a separate option here if I wasn't. So it looks like you can only set one pricing strategy per fulfillment channel and then per condition. So my question is, why can you not set strategies based on inventory age? That's a big one. Why can't you set a strategy based on SKU or partial SKU? That's a huge one. And the biggest one of all, which is just like an omission that's so glaring, I almost doesn't even make sense, is why can't you set a strategy based on Amazon sales rank? That is an absolutely staggering omission. I can't even get my head around it. And again, not to belabor the point, but are any of these repricing tools run by actual sellers? Of course, it's the most no-brainer thing ever that you're going to price something ranked 100,000 totally different than something ranked 1 million. Why would you apply the same strategy across the board? It makes no sense. I don't see any other attributes that you can select. It's just fulfillment channel and condition. Condition is basically irrelevant in my opinion, almost irrelevant. The channel makes sense, FBA versus merch fulfilled, but all my inventory is FBA. So by default, if I eliminate condition and just choose to not use a condition attribute, I can only have one strategy at a time. So I'm going to do off camera, do a search in the help center and see if I can get an answer to this, because this is just too hard to believe. Okay, so here's what I learned. You have I'm here in their help center here for informed, your informed help center. It looks like you can assign a price and strategy one item at a time on the listings page in your account, which won't load for me yet because my inventory hasn't synced. So that's out of the question. You know, if you have more than 50 items in your inventory, that's just going to be too laborious to even comprehend. So that's out. Multiple listings. And I think maybe, I haven't watched this video yet, but I think maybe this means that you can go into your inventory and sort by sales rank and then kind of group things together and apply manually based on, I'm hoping, we'll see in a second when my inventory syncs. So it may be an option to use sales rank and SKU, but why it forces us to do their work for them is the crazy part. Like, why would that not be an option just right here? Just sales rank, range, partial SKU or SKU, inventory age. Like, why are we forced to go into the listings and then manually add either one or at least, you know, group them together manually? Why would that ever be, like, why would a repricer be invented that would force you to do that kind of manual labor? When it could be so easily just added here. That's a huge deal. Like not just huge, like this is my personal preference of mine. Like, I don't see how any Amazon seller could use this without these being options. I mean, you can do it, but it's manual labor. Totally bizarre. Okay, so bulk assign, and that's what we're looking at here. But again, this eliminates the most important attributes, as we've covered extensively. Okay, so then there's a template where you can upload a column. That's it. So I answered my question, and the answer I got is very, very, very unsatisfactory. Do not like this at all. And we'll check out some of the other tabs here. And there's not a lot. And I actually like the simplicity of Informed. It actually, you can tell they put a lot of thought into keeping things as simple as possible and reducing everything to the fewest number of options as possible. Unfortunately, quite a few things that are missing that should be here. But there's an analytics tab. I mean, I've seen some repricers have like 15 tabs here. So this is, you know, this is refreshing. Bunch of analytics stuff. Personally, I just don't. It looks like it's. I'm assuming it's a bunch of stuff that you could just as easily get inside Amazon Seller Central. Maybe it's a little more elegantly displayed here, but again, none of this is like gonna tilt odds in favor of me signing up for Informed. And we could click just to kind of see what it looks like. But okay, so it's still syncing, so it doesn't really show anything yet. So strategies we looked at, uploads. Every repricer I've looked at has an upload option where you can bulk edit your prices based on, you know, CSV files, Excel files, etc. Never used it myself, but apparently a lot of people do. And that's it. So Informed is very, very simple. The only thing I can't see is exactly how to group items and assign them to pricing strategies. So apparently you can have like an unlimited number of strategies, and then you just go through your listings and add inventory to pricing strategies. So that makes sense. That is simple enough that I'm not like turned off by it. It's just a question of why are they forcing us to do their work for them? In other words, I should be able to tell Informed, here's what I want in each strategy all on one page. Really don't like that. Okay, so finally got the listings page loaded. This is my inventory. And what I'm trying to do here is figure out, I'm looking for a couple things. I'm trying to figure out how we can group inventory by certain attributes and then add them to strategies. And so how easy this process is and whether it's possible at all is going to determine pretty much how I feel about Informed going forward. So let's do this together. So again, the key attributes I'm looking for are inventory age, SKU, and sales rank. These are crucial. And I would say the order of importance would be sales rank far and away number one. Inventory age and SKU are sort of useful in different scenarios. The inventory age is probably number two, and then SKU is probably going to be the least useful, but still it's going to be fundamental to certain sellers' strategies. In other words, you're gonna need to add attributes to your SKU, and then based on those SKUs, you know, when you list inventory, and then based on those SKUs, add them to strategies. Okay, so I don't want to get too complicated here, but let's keep it simple. Sales rank, inventory age. Okay, how do we do that? So it looks like there's a add filter here. So let's just say we want to see any inventory that is in low demand, because we're going to price low demand inventory different than. Okay, so it looks like we do have a sales rank option. That is good. So sales rank, say greater than 1 million. Okay, so then from there we can click select all and then assign strategy. We have the drop down menu, so we'll just assign it to, this random strategy, and then click save. Okay, so far this is pretty cool. We just determined, now I don't want to say it's cool. They should not force us to have to do this manually at all. In my opinion, inexcusable for a repricer to do this. So this is laborious, but my expectations are so low and so diminished with these repricing tools because none of them can perform these basic functions. This is the first one I've seen that actually lets you reprice by sales rank, other than NeuroPrice. So that's crazy. So the fact that it can do it at all is significant. So that's that. Let's try to do, let's try to filter by SKU. Okay, now let's try to apply a filter based on inventory age. So velocity, ROI, profit margin. I'm sure it's here somewhere. I think I just saw it. Fulfillment type, favorites, date added. I guess that's what we want. So we're going to say, we're going to apply this to anything greater than it's been in inventory for more than 100 days. Okay, so we clicked apply filters. So I would think date added is the option, but you can see the date added column on the far right, and the date added is actually the date it was added to or synced up with informed. So that's definitely not what we want. What I want is just how long an item has been in my inventory. That's what I'm looking for. So fulfillment type, this shouldn't be this hard. I'm just going through all these again. I think this is my third lap through this list, and I don't see any option for inventory age. New reason for not repricing, profit amount, profit margin, sales rank, velocity, SKU stock, strategy tags. That is crazy. You got so I'm shocked. Let me see if there's a column here that is not enabled. Date of last sale, days since last buy box. Wow, you guys. Major omission on the part of Informed here. There is no option to assign a strategy based on inventory age. Kind of don't even believe it, but that's what we're seeing. Crazy. So that is deal breaking. You always want to, reprice older inventory different than newer inventory. And here's the thing. I want to be fair about this. So if I miss something, it's entirely possible I did. If I miss something in the strategies, maybe we all went through this together and I'm just forgetting right now and you're yelling at the screen like, hey, idiot, we just covered this. Maybe that's the case. I don't think so. I certainly don't remember that right now. And I don't think, last I checked, I don't have amnesia or Alzheimer's. So pretty sure that's not an option, which is insane. But let's move on to the third one, which is SKU. So is there a filter for SKU? I don't think there is. So let me just, there's a search box here, which is interesting. No, there's not a search box. I wish there was a search box so we could just search for partial SKU, bring everything up that applies, and then just add it to a strategy. That would be amazing. SKU. Okay, here we go. SKU contains. Okay, very good. So this is what I was looking for. Okay, so very good. So we do have the option, totally confirmed now, we do have the option to apply inventory to price and strategies based on SKU or partial SKU. Very, very key detail. So definitely like that. We also confirmed that we have the option to apply based on sales rank. That's awesome. The inventory age thing is still a glaring omission. I hope I'm wrong, but that's basically it. Okay, so I think we covered everything. So what's the takeaway here? I think the takeaway is as follows. I think Informed is probably the simplest repricer I've looked at so far, other than Reprice It. Reprice It's the other very popular sort of low-end repricer that gets the job done. Also almost as simple. The main thing I like about Informed is that at no point, at least as far as I remember, at no point in the process of setting up our price and strategies and our different rules was I confused by what the settings do, what they mean. That is absolutely central to me ever using any repricer, that I understand 100% without any ambiguity what each setting does. I don't ever want to get to a setting and go, I don't really understand this. I'm going to kind of just guess that it's doing, as to what it means, and then move on. Because if it's not doing what you think it's doing, those errors and those sort of like what that will cost you will compound over time. So that's never acceptable. I don't think 99% certain that a repricer is doing what you think it's doing is ever an acceptable margin of error. It has to be 100%, or you shouldn't be using the repricer. Pricing is that sensitive. So fortunately, I would actually say Informed is the only repricer that I've looked at so far that actually meets that threshold. There's nothing that it's doing that has confused me. No settings confused me so far, I don't think. It's possible I'm not remembering something, but based on my memory, I was pretty happy with with the level of clarity that Informed offers users. So that's fantastic. But again, I'm not going to belabor the point here, but the omissions here in terms of the settings, that are just simply not an option are staggering. Also, the fact that it's forced us to do a lot of manual labor that they could, or basically force us to do their work for them. I really don't like that. There's no reason I should have to go to listings and assign inventory to pricing strategies. I should just be able to, in the pricing strategy, say, hey, apply it to this inventory, done. Having to hop between multiple pages, it's just unnecessary. Unnecessarily complicated. But I hope you enjoyed this tour. I hope you have a whole new, all new level of understanding about how Informed is, if this is the best repricer for you. Of course, my endorsement is always going to go to the repricer that I founded myself. It's called Neuroprice, neuroprice.io. Basically solves every single problem that Informed has, as well as every other problem I have with every other repricer. That's why I built it. I built it to solve my own problem. So if you're interested in neuroprice.io, thank you guys for watching, and check out my other videos where I give extensive tours into other repricing tools. Thank you guys.